Hi, good evening. Thanks for tuning in. I watched a really fascinating video today on the news. I think it may be a couple of years old. It's about how in Sweden people have been volunteering to have microchip implants into their hand. I think it's around this part in the hand. And basically what it allows them to do is to basically get access to the office where they basically scan their hand, and that acts as like a key to open doors, and they can do other functions as well, such as using the photocopier to make photocopies and these type of things. I had a really fascinating conversation today with some people, and some of the things which we discussed is that this technology, one of the kind of side effects of it is that it can make people lazy. If they're so reliant on technology, then it can kind of, in a way, be number one, I think, dehumanizing, and secondly, I think it's de-skilling people. I'll give you a simple example here. When I was in year 7 in high school, I had really lovely handwriting, but obviously as I got older, went to college, went to university, etc., I had to type all of my assignments and essays up. And because I'd lacked kind of practice, writing, my handwriting kind of went really downhill. Now I've got really, kind of ashamed to say, really appalling handwriting if it's compared to my handwriting of when I was in year 7 in school. So I think that's one of the things we have to be mindful of, is that technology can de-skill us if we're not careful. I was speaking to a senior university lecturer, and he was telling me that when he marks some of his students' work, they write in text speak. So, for example, instead of writing "you" as in YOU, they write just the letter U, and I think that's an example there in terms of how when people get so used to sending a text message, they become lazy by using predictive text, and they don't practice writing out the full words. So that's kind of having a negative impact on the basic literacy of people, i.e. de-skilling people. And in terms of, I mentioned just a minute ago about dehumanizing, I think having an implant, it can be like dehumanizing, taking away our human element there. Now, going back to that article which was talking about the volunteers who had been implanted with this chip in their hand, they were obviously very, very, very happy to be chipped, and they were talking about the benefits of being chipped. And I think one of the factors which they talked about quite a lot is the convenience factor, i.e. they don't have to carry keys on them, they don't have to carry cards on them, and it makes life easier for them. Now, one of the things which I thought, so I'm just referring to my book here because I made some notes. Yep. One of the things which I kind of thought of was, it reminded me of George Orwell's book of 1984 in terms of society will be more like a Big Brother society based around the theme of surveillance. And I thought maybe the more sinister implications of this is that the chip will maybe be used as a form of coercive control. So, for example, it's not mandatory at the moment, but in the future in Sweden, if not having that chip bars access to certain facilities, such as going shopping, going to buy certain things, and it restricts access, I think this is a form of coercive control, which I think is quite dangerous, and I think the society is quite docile to it because they seem to be embracing it. Now, why did I call the title of this video "The Paradox of Technology"? Well, I think technology really, it should be used to support and enrich our lives, but when it comes to impeding on our life, like I used the previous example, whereas technology is like a vice, it's actually marginalizing, I think, certain groups. And one of the fears that I have is that if this does become mainstream in the future, which I'd imagine so that it will, people who don't have their chip may be kind of at a disadvantage there. Okay, guys. So thank you for listening. If you've got any comments or you've got any questions, please put them in the chat below, and I will respond to them. Okay, so I wish you well. Take care and have a good evening. Bye bye.